All right, we'll go by hierarchy. Kid Otaku, introduce yourself.
All right, so I'm Kid Otaku, and pretty much what I do on my channels, I talk about like My Hero Academia, Chainsaw Man, and Jujutsu Kaisen. Those are mainly the series I want to focus on right now because I mainly want to focus on like new gen series because there's a lot of people out there in the community that like still talk about like the older series and stuff like that. But I kind of want to just branch out, do something like a little bit different, giving love to newer series, seeing what direction they go. That's why like whenever new series are like added to like Weekly Shonen Jump, I always make sure to like at least give my first impressions about the series, and then if I ever go back to it, I do a follow-up video giving my thoughts on it and everything. So yeah, that's mainly what I do. Just like anything revolving around like anime and manga, it's usually what you'll see on my channel. And I get like very analytical when it comes to certain series. Like it all depends really. Like if I know the series well, like when I do My Hero, if I know the series well, like how things are structured in that series, I can go on and on. But if I have like a new series added to my channel, I have to like study it a little bit longer so I can get used to the environment and the characters and the abilities and everything like that.
Oh yeah, I totally feel that.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, Controlled Chaos. I'm Red. That over there is David. Say hi, David.
Yeah. Hi.
If obviously if you're watching this on our channel, you know who we are. If you're not, stop on over, watch our channel trailer. I highly recommend it. You will know immediately if you are interested in our type of content because we like to give a half and half. This is where the name comes from. It's genius branding, I know. Controlled. That's your like deep analytical. We're talking about the chapters. We're getting deep about it. Chaos is where we're making dick jokes and talking about like the waifus we'd bang. Woohoo! It's a fun time. Get over there.
Oh my god.
Rax the hero. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, doing good. Primarily, I think for my channel, the most part, I partially with the same kind of like mindset that Kid Otaku has, trying to push up a lot of the new series. Been on Chainsaw Man since chapter 1. Been on the hype train since it came out. Is the super weird. I'm surprised it's in Shonen Jump series. Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm just waiting for it to get an anime for people to be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe the series exists." Meanwhile, I've been over here reading it for a while. But the normal kind of thing that comes whenever a series gets popular, but also the ever so fun to see get talked around Black Clover. Still forever and always going to be a huge Fairy Tail fan, Yu-Gi-Oh fan. And even with all these new ones coming up, I gotta rep hard into the older series. But
so yeah,
as this is gonna be Chainsaw Man chat, so we
have gathered together today because all of us, I think, and I've never been part of like a group of like the biggest before, but I do believe we are the 3 biggest channels that talk about Chainsaw Man on a regular basis. Can we confirm this?
Yeah, pretty much. Because it's like if you look up Chainsaw Man, like if you just like go on YouTube or now you look up Chainsaw Man, it's either my videos pop up, your guys' videos pop up, or Rax's videos pop up.
It's true.
It's just mainly us like doing like discussion theory videos, stuff like that, like giving our thoughts on like the series as a whole. That's the one thing I do notice.
And fun fact about how we noticed Rax, and this I give David total props here. We were doing a why you should read Chainsaw Man video, because this is when it had maybe like 10, 15 chapters, and we were like, this is godliness. Yeah. And David was just curious, like who else has done Chainsaw Man videos, and he found Rax the hero, and then like in the first like 10 seconds of that video, he's like, I don't know how many other people on YouTube do these videos. We see you, Rax the hero, and then Rax came over and commented like, I've been mentioned, and then it started a beautiful this.
Yeah, kid actually managed to. Yeah, he's the one that told me about it. I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, I'll go listen.
Yeah, because I still remember that clit joke about Reze.
Oh, clit bullet.
Yeah. So going back to that, like that whole Nazi joke mentioned earlier and everything, I definitely remember that joke about Reze, the clit bullet.
Good, you know exactly what we're about. Then I was worried I'd have to ease into
clit
that.
Bullet merch.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Which I wouldn't put it past you because that could potentially be a thing. We just haven't explored that environment.
The thing about Chainsaw Man, I think, is ridiculous. So, like I said, I'm a huge like Fairy Tail fan. I've read all Hiro Mishima stuff. I can vaguely kind of grasp a lot of the things that he tries to like lay out and get stuff prepared. So like I'm like, oh, I can kind of gauge what's going to happen next because I kind of understand this author. It's impossible with Fujimoto. Like there's no like consistent like shonen layout for what he does. I mean, the only thing you could kind of guess is like, oh, the main character will get a power up at some point, you know, like new abilities and techniques, kind of like stuff. Other than that, like Chainsaw Man is a horribly unpredictable. You can't really be like, oh, I can see where this author's going, and then like the next chapter he pulls like, oh yeah, Denji's gonna ditch everybody and try and run away with this crazy Russian serial killer.
I'm so glad you brought that up. David always like complains about that in videos, like, because we have a thing, you know, and whenever we're finishing a video, we're like, all right, predictions, and David's like, I have none. I never have none. Why are you asking me? It's so funny. And I made that point with the recent chapters too. Like, I had no idea. I was like, will he run away with her? And will that take the series on a whole new path, or will they not? And now, of course, we know what happened. But like, it's so fun to read a series like that where you really are on that roller coaster ride of like not having any idea what's going to happen.
Well,
have you
read that's been our thing.
Have you read the interview with the Chainsaw Man editor?
I haven't. What's it say?
No, I haven't actually.
I only read part of it, and I knew pretty much how it's going to go. They ask him essentially like, what does he do as an editor? And he's like, I just let him do whatever he wants. I'm like, yeah, I'm
just in the corner watching the chaos, bro.
That sounds about right.
That's beautiful. I was at the mall yesterday and I picked up the first volume of Fire Punch, and I'm very excited to dive into it.
That series is super weird too. Like,
I actually need to start that. Like, that's definitely on my list too, because I want to see what I can take from that series and then look back at Chainsaw Man and see, okay,
like, analyze.
It's very strange. Like when Chainsaw Man first got announced, and I was like, oh, that's a very straightforward name. And I looked at the author. I'm like, why does this guy seem familiar? And I haven't read all Fire Punch, but I think I read like half of it, and I was like, okay, this is gonna get really weird.
Yo, yeah, my friend Andy just
said it gets super weird.
All I know about it is he described it to me as like, all right, there's a guy who kind of has like a Deadpool healing factor, and then he gets hit with like a fire spell that's kind of like Amaterasu from Naruto, where it'll never go out. But see, he's continuously healing, but also continuously on fire, and that's the main character.
There's a point where there's other people that have that healing power, and so people capture them and like cut off their limbs to use as food or like firewood.
Oh,
it's super weird.
I love it. But yes, we're here today to get back on topic, as much as I love being off topic, to talk about why we love Chainsaw Man so much. When did you know that you were gonna love Chainsaw Man, guys? Like, I want to go down the line. Like, what was the moment where you were like, oh my god, this is something amazing?
Well, like page 2, when I saw a giant multi-eyed tomato.
Tomato demon.
While the main character was wielding a chainsaw puppy, I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna like this character already.
It took a little longer for me. You know, like, because I've seen wacky designs a bunch. Like, what's Kishimoto's new series again? Samurai 8 or whatever.
Samurai 8, yeah.
Yeah, like that has some cool designs, but like, God, it bored me. Like, what was your just quickly? What was your thoughts on that? Just that's not just me,
Samurai
right?
8. Samurai 8 is hard because like the first like 15 chapters feel like chapter 1.
Oh,
where it's like every series, chapter 1, it's like, all right, establish stuff, get everything out in the open, get all your kind of like understandings of powers.
And he took his sweet ass time, basically.
And it's like, you know, the main character, you know, they either lose something or something kicks off their journey. For that, it's like 15 chapters, which I get. Kishimoto is very successful. I think he knows what he's doing. I think a lot of people are like too impatient.
That could be it. Yeah.
I'm super impatient. So
I mean,
like,
personally, for me, I think I only read like 15 chapters, and I decided just to put it on pause because it really wasn't clicking with me. And I usually do that with some series to see where it goes. But I sometimes don't want to force myself to read if I'm not interested in it, because I know that just doesn't mix well with me.
One of the things I think about it very much, and similar to like what I feel about like Eden Zero, I think it'll do way better as an anime for a space kind of like mech series. I think visually,
definitely,
it'll add a lot more. Like it's pretty cool, but like some of the weird fluidity of it, I think is kind of hard when you're reading a manga versus like martial arts versus weird space samurai stuff.
For sure. But anyway, back to Chainsaw Man. For me, it was actually the chapter where he's fighting Aki, and he's like, "When I fight a guy, I only kick the nuts," and I was like, "Oh, this is special." That was the moment I was like, oh, I'm never stopping reading this. And Makima also fascinated me from the very beginning. And oh my god,
dude,
like
she's gonna be a villain. I'm telling you this, right? I've been calling it.
Actually goes along with one of my videos I'm planning on making.
Yeah, I saw your poll today. I voted for the Makima endgame villain thing. David, I don't want to leave you out of this. What was like your moment where you were like, I'm gonna love this series?
Well, we kind of talked about it in the why you should be reading, I think. But for me, it was definitely when they revealed the Gun Devil backstory.
Oh
And that's when
yeah,
I'm
like the whole like it
read
killed like
this
hundreds of thousands of
fucking
people in like 13
series.
seconds.
Yeah, I can't lie. That was
whole
like really
chapter was,
intriguing
like,
too, because
that
it's
whole
like
chapter
I want to,
kills.
because like just listening at like I mean not listening, just looking at like how everything was addressed in that chapter kind of makes you think in your head like how they're gonna compete against somebody like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look, knowing how Makima wants Denji to try to fight somebody like that, like how.
And personally, also, I love just like villain hype chapters where it's like,
Oh yeah,
it's not anything about the main character. It's just like this guy is a big deal.
It's like,
that's all it is.
Yeah,
I agree. Like
a little bit of information about him. Like we know that Reze has like some sort of ties with him, but we don't know. We just keep getting like more things like added in. We don't know what he looks like or anything like that.
yeah.
Be Russian now.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope he looks like Rasputin.
Wow. Damn. Yeah, I like, and I like the power system too, or like what there is. Obviously, you have the contract thing, but like, and I want to confirm this with other Chainsaw Man reviewers because I've always just said this, but I don't fully remember because I haven't reread it yet. So like, I could be bullshitting, but like, the power system is basically like the demons in question are more or less powerful depending on how like fearful of that subject humans are.
Yeah.
That's so interesting to me. I love so like someone out there is scared of tomatoes enough to make a tomato devil. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they're
Allergies.
allergic. I get it.
Yeah.
Emily was murdered in a horrible tomato accident.
Somebody choked on a tomato or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's like one of those things where it's like somebody put on a bad performance and then they ended up.
They were
Oh, the
booed
traumatized.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of sad comedians that went to the Apollo and shit. You just made this horrifying demon.
I like that. That's a good idea.
Fully wondering where the time period takes place because like Russia's still the Soviet Union, so
Yeah,
it should be what, like
now-
the 80s.
Are we getting a vibe that it's like because obviously some manga like Bleach, for example, was supposed to take place in our world still, whereas like Naruto is, and One Piece, it's like a fictional world. Do you get the vibe that this is supposed to be in our world completely, or is it like an alternate universe thing, or like some things are the same, some things are different? Because the Soviet Union thing threw me off as well.
Alternate.
I'm just guessing it's just it's our Earth but with weird shit in it. Well, just some
Yeah,
'cause
like
they
kind of
have,
My Hero
like,
Academia-ish, where
smartphones
it's
and all
our
that.
Earth but different,
Yeah.
like demons exist.
Yeah,
They
that's how
have-
I look at it because they have
Was there a
like
part with smartphones?
modern technology that we have and everything.
Good
I don't
point.
remember smartphones because I've been trying to figure out what time period it takes place in. The only thing I can really gauge is like, oh, the Soviets. It's probably what, like the 80s, something around
That's
that.
a good point. Has anyone
what was
shown
in
like?
chapter like 3 when they said Soviet warhawks and like militarized devils? I can't wait to see that shit.
Let's see other topics to talk about. What do you guys think? I'm trying to think like favorite fights, favorite characters. Where can we go from here? Why people should
Where
read
we
it?
can go from here is endless.
And the fights are like all awesome. I mean, like some of the stuff too, like all the characters are so uniquely set. Like you can't tell if Makima's a villain or not. Like Power is just like the most standout female lead I've seen forever. She's so weird. You get like all these like fun cutesy girls, and like Power's like a psychotic racist who just like bitches people on sight to die.
Yeah.
You got like Denji. Denji, I think, is kind of weird because he's more like, I think a lot of people that read it like think he's dumb. I think he's just uneducated. It doesn't seem like he's just
Clearly saw
incapable.
that at like the school too when they went there.
Yeah, I think it's not that he's stupid. I think he just never had a chance to learn.
I'm glad
Yeah.
that you
Like his-
point that out. Yeah, because
His
like
character.
I've seen dumb
like,
characters
really-
before, and they bother me, right? So like, and I know this is an overplayed trope, but like, I cannot stand Asta in Black Clover. Like he seems dumb to me, right? Now,
Oh no, he's canonically dumb. He's
okay, that's fair, right? But like Denji, it's
I know,
a
I
different
like him.
kind of dumb. It's not infuriating. It's almost endearing.
Yeah. It's like I
Dumb-
understand where he came from because he pretty much like the way that we got introduced to him in the beginning of the series, he literally had nothing. Like he was trying to pay off the rest of his debt that he had like after he passed away, and he was living in like some sort of like sugar shack and then eventually he came across Makima one day, and then his whole world changed. So it's like looking at where he came from, like I could sort of understand like why he acts the way he is, and then the more he like gets in, and then the more he like, I guess, gets involved with like everything that's going on right now, the more it like grows him as a person, if that makes any sense.
Definitely.
I felt like his interactions with Reze, opened up his mind a little bit. Like, okay, this girl is like leading me on. She's trying to manipulate me, because pretty much like a common thing I noticed that everybody's after this dude's heart. Like, there's something special about
everyone wants the chainsaw heart, but no one cares about Denji's heart.
Well, we're gonna be finding out like some crazy stuff about Pochi.
Pretty sure there's like
he's gonna be like a chainsaw. Think about this. He's a dog with 3 chainsaws specifically, like in.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember that chapter that we had a little bit ago?
He's gonna be like a chainsaw Cerberus. It's gonna be.
There was a chapter that was very like Naruto-esque, where like he was in his inner world and there was like a gate closed. Do you remember that?
He was having a dream, and there's like the door with the eye on it.
Yeah, like that was super like Naruto Kurama-esque, and I hate to compare the godliness of Chainsaw Man to Naruto, but
there were like smaller ones. Like, remember the Eternity Devil talked about the chainsaw. Like, he knew him as the chainsaw as well. On a side note, I would like to say this, that at that whole like dumb character thing, I don't mind as long as they're not like unreasonably stupid.
Yeah.
Like Goku. Goku bothers the hell out of me. They made him so much dumber in Super. He's like, I'm in my mid-30s and have 2 kids, but I don't know where kids come from or how like any of that works. I'm like, how is he?
Oh yeah, it was like, wasn't there like a thing that like it was revealed that he never kissed Chi-Chi or something?
Yeah, he doesn't like kissing girls. And it's like, how? Yeah.
He slammed her, but he never kissed her.
That's so unreasonably dumb. Well, yeah. So one of the things to note about Denji is like because he grew up pretty much as he was just like a child worker. He didn't do anything with his life. He just worked every day, gave money, and tried to not die.
Yeah.
He started out pretty blank as a character, and one of the things like we noticed is like he. During the whole part with the Eternity Devil, is he didn't like the idea of being in debt to anybody, because obviously like how his life kind of got screwed over because of his dad. This whole worry about whether or not he's still human, all the stuff about just wanting to live and trying to find good things in life. Like the whole like when she's like, you go to work every day, you try not to die, and then you just get somewhere to sleep and 3 meals a day, and he's like, yeah, that's amazing to me. I didn't even have
I love those lines. And like
it makes sense too, because it's like, comparing where he was before and looking at where he is now. If I was in his shoes, I'd be like, you know what? I'm working, I'm getting paid, I'm eating. I feel like that's more than enough to be happy at that point. It's better to be where he is now rather than being miserable than he was before. Nobody would want to live like that.
He's like the polar opposite of Boruto.
To build on that point too, like one of the things that really drew me in with his character was like little things like how like when he first was able to eat bread with toppings on it, he put all the toppings on it, like sprinkles and mayonnaise and jam. He's like, wow, and like the beginnings of his character, like in the first 10, 20, 30 chapters, his motives were very simple things like, oh man, I hope I get to touch a breast one day, and I want to have a kiss, and then it's always fucked up. Like Power's like, sure, you can touch mine, and she was patting, and then it's like, oh cool, the puke girl wants to fucking kiss me, and then she pukes in his mouth. Just like it's like the most, his goals are so like weirdly lewd and wholesome at the same time, because like they're lewd, but it's just because he wants to experience them before he fucking dies. Like
a 16-year-old boy.
He has the mentality of like a middle schooler, like, oh boy, I hope I get to kiss a girl one day. Like it's so weirdly wholesome because you feel bad for him, and it keeps going horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like
the whole cast is so interesting as well.
Yeah, I like all the characters.
I'm so intrigued on like the pathway of Aki as well. Like I feel like he could be the main character if Denji somehow wasn't there. Like,
you know what Aki reminds me of? It's like in One Punch Man where like you have Saitama chapters, and then like Genos is like actually the main character if you really look at it.
Yeah.
I love Aki.
He's so deep.
Sorry, I think David was trying to say something. I feel bad because he keeps getting cut off. Go ahead, David.
So, Red, you're the big Hunter x Hunter fan. Do you think this might go down the path of like Gon just taking a step to the side, and then Aki, just becoming the new MC?
No, I don't get that vibe. I don't think that this series is going to be that long. I get like 100 to 150 chapters max vibe to it. I don't see it being long running, and that's actually, I'd be curious on your guys' thoughts on that.
I could see it being pretty, like, as long as the author kind of feels, because I mean, Fire Punch was something, but this is like his first pretty big hit. Like, it's only a year old and it's already
80 something chapters, I think.
I'm pretty sure it was less than 100.
Fire Punch, from what I understand, it wasn't like a big hit. It's doing better now because he's a lot more successful and people are looking at his works. But I'm pretty sure that he's gonna try and ride this for a while because like Chainsaw Man's only a year old and it's already sold. It's already sold over 1 million volumes. So
and that's really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's gotta ride this train. So I think he's gonna go, like, he's got enough material and easy ways to bring out like new devils and whatnot to go further.
Yeah.
And the series is called Chainsaw Man, so like, it doesn't have to be Denji. Anybody who ends up taking the chainsaw heart after him could be the main character.
Mm-hmm. It's true. I mean, with how unpredictable the series has been.
Yeah, you never know what could happen, honestly. Like, that's like one of the things I was thinking about as well. Like, when we had where him and Reze like wanted to, Reze wanted him to run away with her. Like, and then where we had that whole like Russia thing get introduced to us about her character. Like, I was
waiting for that to legit happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, they're gonna like expand the world, go to like Russia. Like, they ended up like running away over there or something. Like, anything can really happen. Like, especially like how they're like hyping up like the Gun Devil and everything. Like, if they want to like introduce more elements into the story that's like leading towards that direction, then Fujimoto could do that. Like, there's just a lot of things he can explore, like with Aki's character, Makima's character, because Makima's character like has a lot of mystery behind it. It's like really hard to read like what she's gonna do because of that one chapter we got. I can't remember what chapter it was. I remember it was that chapter where we thought she died when she got like shot on the train.
That was like
I refuse to believe it. There's no way.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
in that next chapter, it's like we see that those people are dead, and then she's like doing some Krollo shit with her fingers.
She's some form of hybrid.
When she was just crushing people from like miles away, I was like, what?
She's got to be a hybrid.
Yeah, because she has those pluses in her eyes. She has those pluses in her eyes. That's what I noticed.
The vibe I got was that like, most people will make a contract with one demon. I have a feeling she's got contracts with like many. You know what I mean?
She definitely she must have like a lot of like resources, I would assume.
Because every time we see her, she's got a new power. Like in the last chapter, she's like crawling up as a fucking mound of rats. It's like, what the hell?
The plague demon, probably.
One of the things that I've got theorized, so I think she's a hybrid because I think that's the only reason she's alive still. Hybrids seem to be immortal unless you do. I don't know if it's you pierce their heart or destroy them, which is why I'm wondering if Reze's still alive or whatnot. But I'm guessing because the hybrids are different. I mean, you've seen like, okay, you have the devils, you have the fiends where the devils take over human body, but then you have these hybrids that have human body with devil heart. And not only can they get powered off of human blood, but also devil blood. I'm wondering if they can actually take contracts with devils, because we know devils can't take contracts with each other. These hybrids seem more human than devil than anything. So maybe that's gonna be like her thing, and she's gonna be able to use all of their stuff without like the whole like takes your lifespan or does anything to you, because she can just heal from it.
It'll be kind of like the concept of the Vizards and Bleach, like they're the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I can see that.
Another part I wanted to talk about was something I really liked in this series, and this was pretty early on, was that moment where this was like a lot deeper than I expected from like any shonen, and it was when he was like, he was all about wanting to feel a boob. Makima is like, sure, you can feel my boob, right? And at first it's like a disappointment to him. He's just like, well, I feel nothing. And then she, weirdly enough, like teaches him a very important lesson, which is it's not just the boob that's the important part. It's like having an emotional connection to this person, like feel my ear, like look into my eyes and now feel it. And he's like, oh my God, now it's, and she did a similar thing with like when his first kiss tasted like puke and he was all disappointed about that. She just took the sucker out and he was like, now your first indirect kiss tastes like cola flavored sucker. Like, it's just, there's a lot of weirdly wholesome moments. And then the movie theater moment, like we got to talk about these moments. Like they have really weirdly wholesome moments between Makima and Denji that are like really deep and like introspective on their like personalities and psyche and yada yada. It's fascinating.
I still 100% think that she's manipulating.
Oh, definitely. I don't think she's good.
I mean, based on
like
all that
manipulation there.
So far, definitely is
look
manipulated.
at like Power. Power's not smart, but Makima controls her with fear, and then you have Denji, who's this, pretty
lovesick boy,
spirited young teenager, and she's controlling him with his heart, trying to emotionally.
And she's very good at it because it even sometimes makes me think twice. It's like, wow, she's so wholesome. Like
one of the things to note is back when she was talking to Kishibe, is he could see through her lies, and she liked that. I think she's all about the game. She's all about this.
I loved the conversation between her and him.
The puppeteering. Yeah, he seems to be the only person that can see through her. That's probably why she doesn't fuck with them too much.
I hope they have a confrontation at some point, like more than just talking. Like I see a fight going down between them.
He's capable of. He's supposed to be like the top devil hunter.
Right, but no, I feel like Makima's more powerful than she lets on.
Oh, no, definitely, for sure.
Like, I could see Makima having a pretty challenging fight with, like, I could see him, like, nah, you've gone too far. Because he clearly has, like, a code of conduct. Like, and I think, what was it that he said? He was like, don't bring me back more people that are just going to die. He was kind of pissed about sending all these people just to die or something.
Yeah.
Well,
remember that?
She's 100%.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think Lena, she's going to be a big villain. Personally, I think she's going to be one of the more top villains in Shonen Jump's had in a long time, just the way that she's been built. All it's got to take is when she officially switches over, and I'll probably place her as my number one right now in Shonen Jump.
She's already one of my favorite female characters of anything. She stands out so much.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. I mean, I'll be honest here, I've been a Reze fanboy for a while.
Oh, I love Reze. That's something me and you can get along on. Like, David made fun of me, and David called it from the beginning. He was like, she's gonna be evil, and I was like, I don't want her to be evil. I love her.
That's how I felt, because it's at the same time, it's in my head, I knew Fujimoto was gonna do something, and he did, but
wishing for Denji to have a happy life.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's these guys have proper chemistry and stuff. She's taking him to school. They're having a fun time. They're going out to I think they're some, what is it? Was it a pool at the school? Is that
they went
to school and they were just having fun. Or
and then she was teaching him how to swim, and then she was saying and she was trying to teach Denji all these different things and try to lead him down a good direction. So so I was thinking, I was okay, maybe this could be something. And then we get that one chapter where it's the festival's going on, there's a whole bunch of fireworks, and we have that one panel of her and him kissing. And I was okay, this is a good moment. But then you get that panel where it's it's all dark. You see their characters, they look like these shadowy figures. And then the next panel, it's she bites off his tongue.
That shit was
I
shocking.
knew this was gonna happen, but it's
yeah,
I didn't want to believe it. And then,
well, do you think she's dead?
I don't. I think it. I mean, when I did my video on it, I said she was dead, but it's maybe Makima might try to get information out of her.
Yeah, that's
the only thing I can see with.
That's what I was getting.
If she's gonna do anything, Reze would be to get information out of her, because Reze has connections with the Gun Devils. I would assume she would try to ask her questions about that, because all she really has to do is just give Reze blood and she's fine.
True.
We don't know the full way to kill the hybrids yet. We just know that something to do with their hearts. She got her heart pierced, but we don't know if it just pierced hearts. So you have to destroy it or what. I don't think she would kill her, because she's obviously a huge well of information. And I'm hoping she's alive just so I can see later, Denji find out they've been keeping her
that's gonna be
up. And,
phenomenal moment.
Thing. I want to see Denji's reaction to all of this. I don't think he's seen what Makima's doing behind the scenes.
No, definitely not.
He obviously he cares about Reze. He was at the coffee shop waiting for her to arrive. The door opened. Power ended up being, but it's even after all that shit she pulled. He still has a thing for her. So I'm curious if he's ever gonna catch on what Makima is doing, because obviously us as the readers, it's obviously us as the readers we catch on instantly, but with him it's
different.
She's pretty much the girl that brought him everything. So it's he always looks at her as this good person, but we know that she's doing something evil and stuff.
When you think about it, though, he had the choice, because we know he was conflicted about Makima and Reze, but when it came down to it, it was stay with the Devil Hunters, which is Makima, or go with Reze, and he was ready to ditch Reze and go ditch Makima and go with Reze.
Yeah.
So I think when it'll come down to it eventually, like he's much more up for her, because though Makima's got her whole like strings around him. Like
she knows how to play the game well also.
But like, even if they have good moments, like they don't have the same kind of like chemistry that he and Reze had.
I think
like,
Denji could tell
thing going on.
Yeah,
I think Denji, he's not dumb.
I think we'll probably snap him if he ever finds out like she's being held or something, and he just
that's what I'm thinking. Because it's like I'm thinking of it in my head. It's like as soon as he finds out, he's probably like, "Yo, like, is this actually the kind of person you?" Because it's kind of like one of those things where it's like you had this like person been around you ever since you're a little kid, and then they raised, and then eventually one day when you get older, you find out that they have like all these like dark secrets that they're keeping away from you. Like that's like how I see it with like him and Reze. It's like Reason brought him to a new. Makima brought him to a new light. And she finds that like all the evil things that she's like. That's how I really want to see like how his character is going to grow from that.
Quick check. Can you guys hear me? Because my green little circle isn't showing up.
Denji's not like the only character that looks at like Makima as like this good person. Like obviously Aki owes a lot to her as well. So I'm curious how other characters are going to they find out what she's doing.
Yeah, they could go really, really dark if you want to have some world building in it too. They could basically kill Reze and then just send Denji Wild Dog style to go attack the Russian bureau or some shit like that. It could just go really, really super dark, and then Denji find out like, oh, Rize's just been sitting in the basement, chained up for information.
I definitely want to put it past him. That's something he definitely pull.
Yeah, and one of the line that I wanted to focus on too that really got me was because Denji kept focusing on it. He was like, "Hey, why didn't you kill me right away? You could have killed me right away." And what we see as and whether or not she's dying or not, who knows? But like that final line from Reze is like, "It's because I had never been to school either," and that makes you think back to that first conversation they have about like she was kind of laughing like, "What, you've never been to school?" And that was all an act.
Yeah.
She was pretending to be like your normal schoolgirl when really her life was similar to Denji's, not in the same way, but in the sense that they both didn't have a normal upbringing. They both were pretty bare bones in any privileges that they got.
They were just seen as tools. They didn't have a childhood. I think that kind of like chemistry between them is really what started to shift Reze as well. And I'm really hoping she's alive and she gets out.
That's what I'm hoping too, because like I said it like multiple times, like when I was like talking about the chapters and stuff. I was like, her character has like a lot of potential. Like she could really get fleshed out to become like a great character in the series. Like she already is one of my favorite characters in the series right now. But I feel like it would just be a waste if like that's all we see from her right now. Like I just want to get more on her, because even like learning about her whole background and where she came from, like it makes you feel really bad for her even after all the things that she pulled.
Here's something we can talk about. What do you guys think about this like kind of chemistry going on? And when I say chemistry, it doesn't necessarily mean love. It can be friendship or anything. But the chemistry going on between Aki and the Angel Devil, which I don't know if we've gotten an actual name for the Angel Devil, so I'm just gonna say the Angel Devil. But like,
I don't think he has a name yet.
Yeah, that's not only is that kind of been ratcheting up more and more, and then obviously we have the moment where Aki sacrificed a big chunk of his life to save him, but also recently, Angel Devil basically was like, yeah, no, I came so Aki wouldn't have to kill Reze here. So like that's an interesting like friendship, or maybe even more, because it is 2019, almost 2020. Who knows? But like it's interesting, their relationship. And do you guys have any takes on that or thoughts?
Yeah, because one thing that was like right before all this arc started is you had that guy dying, and Aki was going to ask the Angel Devil to put him out of his misery. He didn't want to because he still wanted humans to suffer.
Oh yeah.
And you are having him just trying to do his best to keep Aki happy, keep him kind of out of this unfortunate dark event that was going to happen. And the whole thing about like Aki's character is so interesting, but just like the way that he's kind of depicted as well, the way that his kind of like dead emotion appearance while still clearly caring a lot about anybody on his team, regardless if he gets along with them or not. Yeah, I think it's kind of like really noting over to the Angel Devil, who now is starting to actually kind of like gain some emotions. It's like a lot of the devils seem this by default kind of pieces of shit, and then later become like Beam. Like Beam seems pretty cool. Like regardless of being a devil, dude's a bro. He doesn't seem to be very problematic.
He's looking out for his friend when he
Beam's the ultimate bro. I think. Beam...
Yeah, I mean, like look at the whole part with the Katana Devil. Like Power just said fuck it and left, and then Beam is like trying his best to help while not dying.
Beam seems to be like the ultimate Denji fanboy. I think everyone needs that. It reminds me of. Are you guys caught up with One Piece at all?
Yeah.
It reminds me of like Bartolomeo to Luffy.
Oh god, he's too much.
Who, Bartolomeo?
Oh god, he's too much. He's like foaming at the mouth.
Bartolomeo is a representation of the One Piece fandom.
I know, it's too fanboy to me. It comes off a little cringy. Like I think I could be around a lot of characters in One Piece, and even like the weird ones, I'd be like, whatever. You're just like Bartolomeo. I'd just be like, please, just get the hell away from me. What is wrong with you?
That's fair.
Like, I've seen a lot of fanboy characters, but God, that dude, too much.
Yeah.
Beam's about the right amount.
Yeah, no,
Beam's
I agree with you. Beam
amount.
takes it to a normal level. And
yeah, definitely.
While we're talking about Beam, can we talk about on the topic of subverting expectations? Denji's like, all right, it's time to use my powers in a smarter way. I'm gonna ride a shark and use my chainsaw whips as fucking tassels. Let's go.
Yeah,
or not tassels.
That was really cool too, especially like how that whole scene was laid out.
Chainsaw reigns.
Yeah, it's like how the Typhoon Devil was like.
Well, that whole panel is like the perfect way to when somebody's like, "What is Chainsaw Man?"
Yeah,
it's like, yeah.
Send them back.
The main character is a 16-year-old Chainsaw Man hybrid riding a shark into a giant baby flesh tornado and a Russian murder agent.
That's literally David's fucking cover photo on Facebook right now. That panel.
So cool.
Yeah,
is it still though?
I don't know. It better be, but no, that kind of panel right there. Like, what we need to talk about now is how fucking perfect this series would be for an anime. It needs an anime. It needs to be good.
That scene needs to be animated.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was actually like I'll add you guys to this chat later. I know Rax is already in it, but like I made a Chainsaw Man chat so I could like talk to a lot of people about it. Ooh. And like one of the things that we were like discussing is like what studio would be able to adapt it, because one of the things that I don't want to happen when it gets an anime is for censorship, because there's a lot of
you don't want the 7 Deadly Sins treatment. Roll the blood white.
That's just giving me nightmares, bro.
That would be the dumbest shit ever. You cannot censor this. This has to be like Hellsing Ultimate level. Like,
yeah. Like, so we were trying to figure
even mentioning the 7 Deadly Sins anime just took a year off my life.
Dude, that was horrible. So I don't even know how they got that past.
That's insane. I literally thought it was fake. I thought it was done in paint.
That's what I thought too. It's like I saw it when I was on Twitter. Yeah, I saw it when I was on Twitter, like on Christmas Day. Actually, I don't know if it was Christmas Day or day after. But I was like, what is this? Because I know like people, like if they're like a fan of the series and they go on YouTube and make their own fan animations, you see that stuff.
Right.
And I thought that was one of those cases where they're like, okay, guys, I made this panel of like my favorite fight.
So like 2 days before that, a dude's like, oh, I'm going to release my fan animation. I don't care if it looks bad. I just want people to see my amateur. And then I saw it and I'm like, oh, it's just this dude's fan animation. And they're all freaking out. Yeah. And then I actually watched the episode. And the whole thing just looks bad.
And there's a lot of people out there too where they're like I remember like
anime look that bad ever.
Yeah, a lot of people are looking at it like, wait, like is that like legit? Like a lot of people actually questioning if that actually came from the studio. But
I saw the thing you liked on Twitter. Some guys like calling chibi reviews a dumbass, and it's like, no, you're the dumbass.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is like I understand it's hard to believe that came out of the studio, but it was. And the thing is, like, I feel bad for fans of that series because of that moment with Meliodas and Escanor is like a big part of the story at that time. And it's sad that it had to go down that direction.
But yeah, we gotta
really
avoid that with
sadder 'cause,
Chainsaw
like,
Man. We need some like fucking. My
Nakamo's got
go-to
cleaner
always used to
and
be
just-
Madhouse. I know they're not what they once were, but like we need some like something.
I mean,
What's the-
honestly, like Chainsaw Man, like it's not even like hyper crazy. As long as just get somebody that can deal with blood and gore, and you're pretty much good at that point.
but it could literally explode if it got like. I know this is
Oh,
asking for a lot, but if it got like One Punch Man level like animation, that could be so huge.
I mean,
One Punch Man season 1.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, that was a lot by Bones. I think Madhouse.
Oh, that was Madhouse, but like in their prime.
But did Bones outsource? Didn't they outsource a lot to Bones?
I don't know what they had said.
I do know some animators from Bones. I believe helped out with that season, the first season.
Yeah, I heard they outsourced a lot. That's why season 2 looks so different.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. It's some whole different company. I think it's the company that did. Actually, no, I don't remember. I was thinking.
Chainsaw Man has that kind of like super weird like vibe, like different than like you get a lot of like big seasonal stuff. Whatever the big hype train is. But like Chainsaw Man is kind of like more like Goblin Slayer, where people are going to get on it just because it's like
that's going to grab attention just by the name alone.
Oh yeah.
When gifs of that shit start circulating around, like people are gonna be like,
especially
what?
if you haven't read the first chapter and the main character, like in the first episode, the main character's dead, chopped up in a dumpster with a puppy.
Yes.
It's like, man, it's gonna be really crazy.
It's like the one studio I was thinking of is like Wit, because I don't know what they're gonna do after like they're done with Attack on Titan, and I don't know if they're doing the season 2 of Vinland Saga anytime soon.
Studio David that did Kimetsu no Yaiba, just give them them. Just like, here, take this.
Studio David who does JoJo? Or is that David Productions?
Oh yeah, David Productions. Yeah.
They could do it.
Yeah.
They could do that
I'd take
too.
that.
Yeah. I just don't want it to be censored.
It can't be.
Because there's
there
specific
would be
scenes that have a lot of meaning behind them that
it would literally be a black screen if there was like
yeah, I wouldn't like that.
You can't. Like, Chainsaw Man is too gory. Like, there's blood splatters.
As you said, first episode, he's fucking cut into pieces in a dumpster. I mean, what are you gonna do?
It's like the same thing I told you.
And then he goes ham on like a horde of zombies. Like, you couldn't censor it at all.
Yeah, it's like the same thing I told you before, Rax. I mean, because me and you talk about Kaisen all the time. And one of the things I told you about Kaisen when it gets an anime adaptation is I want the choreography scenes to be set up correctly because that's one of its biggest strengths.
Yeah.
Looking at Chainsaw Man's strengths, like.
But it's the idea of censoring Chainsaw Man to me is such a mind bug, because like you can do like a lot of shonen that's like, oh, we'll just censor some of the blood and then put lots more scratches. You can't censor Chainsaw Man. It doesn't work.
Yeah, because he's fighting with a fucking chainsaw. That's not gonna give someone scratches.
It absolutely does not work.
Especially looking at like how
nothing about
those
it.
fights
It would
go
literally
down
just be a black screen.
Like I think of
one of my favorite
can you think of a single fight in Chainsaw Man that was clean?
No.
Let's not forget underrated moment. The perpetual. I don't know what he called it. The perpetual blood something where he's like, I'll just sit here with my chainsaw, shoveling blood into my mouth so I can keep killing you.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, wasn't they like slaughtering you for 3 days?
Yeah. That was inside that building. They were inside that building.
That was around the time we started reviewing it on the channel.
That was the Eternity Devil.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. And then he was just in there constantly drinking the blood and constantly fighting.
Yeah.
I remember
you can't pull a fucking Luffy 4Kids where instead of bleeding to defeat Crocodile, he's sweating.
Yeah.
It's like that whole fight is super memorable because that was like what some people like Chainsaw Man was starting to get a little bit popular. Now these people that were just hating on it because Fujimoto is so weird. Like the way he draws people, like he's not used to drawing humans as much. But the second he draws a monster, it's like super detailed. And it's just like just that page where they're running away from the Eternity Devil. You have like the main cast; they're all pretty normally drawn. Like he probably spent like 10 minutes on each of them, and then it looks like he spent hours like detailing like the Eternity Devil with each hand and
Lovecraft
blood and like
bullshit.
grotesque. Yeah, I love that aspect.
Sometimes his monsters are like almost Junji Ito-esque.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're great.
Also, like as a Hunter x Hunter fan, like I can deal with some bad art. Yeah. It's not even that bad.
I think it's just like he knows where to put a lot of his effort. I think he knows where it works for him.
Like I think some people are spoiled by like My Hero Academia's like quality art, but like I have no problem with like sketchy styles. In fact, sometimes it can like be pretty.
Have you ever read Made in Abyss?
I watched it.
I haven't.
The first season.
I should though.
Like the whole 3-gap art style. It's like the terrain is all super detailed. Just really like kind of like concept art looking, where it's just extra beautiful. The characters are all like little cute and chibi, and then the monsters are nightmare fuel.
Wow.
It's just the way that they're all mixed. It's just like the same kind of concept. Like he's got like the buildings are all super clean in Chainsaw Man. The people look pretty clear cut. Like a lot of the times, like their designs aren't super standoutish, but then like you get the monsters, and it's just like it just looks like you're delving into like.
And
a
I think
horror
it
world.
speaks to how good his writing is. That like even though the designs of the characters can sometimes be very like just generic or like hard to tell the difference between, like the characters themselves are so like vibrant and alive in their personality that like I still like love like I fall in love with them in the same way that I'd fall in love with any other character, even though the art for them can be like weird sometimes.
Yeah.
Point for I think, but then it's like Denji, normal Denji, and then like Chainsaw Denji. He just looks like a psychotic monster man.
Oh man,
I need more hybrids, man. I need more hybrid characters. Which reminds me, like, do you think Aki's actually gonna die? I'm fully on the
I feel like
train.
he should. After all the hyping up for him to die, like I mean, like if you have a character where it's like, oh, you've removed this chunk of your life and this chunk of your life.
Let me just put this across. Like, so you have this author who just will kill almost anybody at any point in the series, no warning.
Mm-hmm.
Like you had all the members of the main cast, like Himeno and all that group, Rai, and you had them all kind of like building up dead, like the next arc. I love the idea of Aki constantly being built up to die, and he's the only one that doesn't die. And it's just everybody else is just like, oh yeah, I tripped, and then like my head exploded.
I tripped on a rock.
But Aki, because like with Aki's whole thing is he wants the Gun Devil dead, and there's nothing more important to him in the world than that. I just imagine him somehow becoming a hybrid. Because the Future Devil said he would die in like the most horrible way for him.
Interesting way.
And I can just see like for him becoming a devil is pretty much his humanity dying. And
that could be like oh well, you didn't die. Your personality died. You died, but you're still alive, tormented forever by what you've become.
Just as some other being. I just want to see that like this future sight swordsman, cursed bladed man.
That'd be badass.
Immortal.
Yeah, that would. I mean, even if he does end up dying, I definitely expect him to like go out for being.
I really hope he doesn't die.
Oh no, I don't want him to die either. He's one of my favorite characters.
I just love that idea where it's just like, and no warning, kill practically any character, and then the one guy, it's just like he's gonna die possibly soon, doesn't die.
Yeah.
When it comes to character deaths, I appreciate an author that can just kill without warning, because that makes me so much more on the edge of my seat when I'm reading a chapter, because you have no idea who's safe and who's not. I really appreciate that. That's something I love about Hunter x Hunter. Like, with the exception of the main cast, any of the side characters could die at any moment.
It's vicious. I'm worried. Actually, the one that's very much kind of in that area between those two areas, I'm really hoping Kobeni doesn't die.
Oh,
She never die. Dude, I like Kobeni. She's so awkward. She's just like this awkward girl that got her life fucked over.
Yeah, she's the one that's like, oh, I can't quit because the benefit package is so good, right?
She's just got like, we don't even know her power yet. She's just got a knife and she's super parkour acrobatic.
Yeah, she gives me she is like ultimate millennial energy. Just like, oh, I wanted to quit, but too much student loans, my medical debts.
She's not even paying for herself. She used to pay for her brother because her parents her brother for him. It's like this poor girl. But like, I knew that she
would
was
that or be a prostitute. You take your pick.
I know, poor girl. I mean, she seems very real to me, just because like everybody else is just like, oh, you gotta hide these monsters all the time, and then she's
doing
just
it for the money,
freaking out. Like every single time she sees a monster, she just is freaking out. She's just terrified.
It seems like a really hard world to live in, Chainsaw Man's world.
Oh, it seems awful. It really does. It seems completely.
And that's one of the vibes, and I'm glad that we've brought this up. One of the running themes I love about this series is like the constant reminding of the fact that like normal people do not go into devil hunting. Like if you are a devil hunter, something's a little off with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the crazier, the ones that stay longer is because they're insane.
Yeah. And like normal people with emotions and shit.
Look at Kishibe. It was like, oh, cool, training arc, and then it's like, what are you gonna do to train us? It's like, I'm gonna hunt you guys for the next couple weeks.
That was the best. I was so excited for that. When that shit started happening, I was like, how is Chainsaw Man, the manga that subverts all expectations, gonna do a training arc? It's like, oh, I'm just gonna kill you a bunch.
I'm just gonna hunt the shit out of him. And they're like, all right, what we have to do to beat him is be smart.
I loved Power and Denji working together, and those like montages. That was so good. She's like, we gotta use our brain. Big brain strategy time.
Put on glasses and tie her hair back, and she's like, I'm smart now.
Yeah.
Power
that
is
was
kind
some funny
of best
stuff.
girl.
I can't wait to see like how powerful she gets, like with her super horns, and just eventually she's just gonna become a monster.
I love Power. Like, she's weirdly, like, I don't know, she's strangely wholesome in a weird way. Like, I was really glad that she walked in, because I think Denji needed someone there. He needed a friend, and like, Power, yeah, she has a tendency to betray him and just leave, or, or whatever, be a dick to him, but
and
like,
be disgusting.
It's like, oh, he got shot, I'm leaving.
They do kind of have a weird, like, don't they kind of act like siblings, though? Like, whenever they're together, they do kind of, like, bicker like siblings. I feel like they weirdly have each other's back. I don't know.
Like an old married couple, but they hate each other.
I love it. It's weirdly wholesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. How long are you guys thinking about making this? Do you want to start wrapping up with final thoughts, or what are you thinking?
Man, it doesn't bother me. I'm just sitting here chatting.
Maybe like 10, 20 more minutes, because I have to. I think David and I both work. I work at 5 a.m. and I don't know what David works at.
Oh God, don't remind me. I gotta go back to work tomorrow.
Okay,
yeah. So maybe like 10, 20 minutes to find some other topics and wrap up. But we could definitely do more of these. Like, I really enjoy it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So maybe we could end off with like where we see the series going from here.
Did you
like I said, it's unpredictable.
True. Well, goodbye.
Did you check out 53? It's all fan translation. I'm trying to.
See,
I'm trying to get more
yet.
into.
I
trying to get more towards supporting the official release, but I had to take a peek.
I haven't.
No,
I did. The only unofficial one that I read was One Piece because I was getting spoiled again and again and again on Twitter.
It's always gonna happen.
Yeah, because I know the one. So I know they have like these fan translations for My Hero as well, but I'm just waiting on the official one.
I feel like it kind of ruins like my experience reading a chapter if it's like shitty like translations. I'm like,
yeah, that's not because it could be like because one thing I always bring up when it comes to things like that is the wording. Like the wording matters
for sure, especially in like how detailed like the character writing is in this series. It really does.
Yeah, so that's why I want to make sure, like, if I'm reading the chapter, I want to make sure that I'm getting the right information.
Yep.
Because you could, like, let's say, huh?
I was gonna say that, and then kind of that, and then no, trying to help more official release, trying to help.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, I'm whenever volumes come out, I will be buying them. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, volumes 100%.
Oh yeah, hopefully we get some sort of announcement like early next year or whatever. I was happy when Tyson got them in January.
Oh yeah, I got mine. The thing I was gonna say that I love that all the just as a side note, I love all the Chainsaw Man volumes are like colored with like candy palettes. It just all looks like
so pretty. They're really nice.
It looks like candy wrappers. It's like the first one. It's like orange and lime green, and then you open it, and it's just blood and gore.
Yeah.
You get like Kameno, and it's like mints. You got like mint leaves.
I expect the OST to the eventual anime to be very metal. It needs to be metal as fuck.
It's gonna be vicious. I'm really hoping it starts out with just like a chainsaw being revved.
Oh, it should. At least the opening, right? Like the opening's gotta be like.
It's just somebody's trying to start up a chainsaw, and it's just like Denji's heart beating.
For the anime.
It would be so cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like on like One Punch Man level where it gets like all that hype and excitement for the opening.
Sure. If it's like by Bones or by Madhouse, it'll have some like scream metal, like auto-tuned. It's just destined.
I love it.
That'd be perfect.
That's
gonna be exciting, and like we can say it here, make it official, boys. Before it gets an anime, we are the Chainsaw Man hipsters. They can never take that away from us. God damn it.
Yeah, it won't go. Luckily, so one of the things I wanted to say, it's very luckily because of the tone of Chainsaw Man, is we're not going to get like the toxicity of like what
we're not going to get to My Hero levels, right?
Well, no, My Hero was smart. They've isolated and quarantined the infection. My Hero Academia fans are the good ones. Boku no Hero Academia fans are the bad ones.
Yeah.
They've isolated the problem. If you're bad, they just like, okay, get out. They put them in the bad kid room.
The bad kid
maybe
room.
they should structure that way with Yaiba as well. They can put like Demon Slayer fans and then Kimetsu fans.
Put the Demon Slayers, the bad ones. It's way less interesting sounding.
Demon Slayer fans are the ones that like just now started anime and they're like, this is the best anime ever.
Yeah, oh my god.
I'm sorry, can I rant? That is the most overhyped fucking anime in the world, okay? It's got pretty animation, but like beyond that, meh characters, meh plot.
Is the series, what I would agree if people actually got to, is the villains are actually fleshed out really well. The villains are actually really likable. The main character, he's cool, he's not great. I like the author's choreography, but like, if people were gonna hype up Kimetsu no Yaiba, it'd be like, yeah, the villains, like the upper moons are all really cool.
Yeah, because like one of the
I'm just like, it looks really nice.
Things that bothers me about like the Yaiba anime, not saying that I like it or anything, it's the fact that people allow animation to carry their thoughts. They don't ever look deep into the story or the characters or anything. It's kind of like that doesn't exist. It's just pretty pictures in front of your face.
It's a very low effort mentality to have, right? Like those are the same people that'll just sit down and like mindlessly watch like a shitty fucking reality show and be like entertained by that. It's like
everyone is typing that scene where he kills that one dude and he has like the big fire wheel, and then that part gets like explicitly circle jerk, but then like there's that one part where Tanjiro kills that one spider chick and she just embraces death to end like the life of killing people, and I was like, why didn't you go with something like that? Where you get like this really cool like demon accepting serenity and tranquility.
They don't care.
It is sad because if you look at like if you look at all the anime that like became really popular and like became like mainstream, it's like One Punch Man, great animation. Attack on Titan, great animation. Like I feel like it's almost sadly a prerequisite that you have to have like godly animation to even suck in like the mainstream normie people.
I mean, you just gotta they gotta pick up the strategy. You just gotta do the Black Clover anime. Have like animation, and then it's like the parts that matter, and then go like ape shit.
You know how that's gonna be with Kaizen Rex. They're gonna start freaking out if it has pretty animation and nice choreography.
What studio has Kaizen? What studio got Kaizen? Do we know?
It hasn't been confirmed yet.
The only thing we do know is like the voice actor for like the 4 main characters. That's all we know so far.
Because I just started reading that because like Thurman, the other guy on our channel, has been like begging me to read it, and I just started yesterday. And I got to say, I like the premise of like hey, you can either die now or you can go eat all these fingers and then die. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
Okay, comments or Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, I'm talking about something else, aren't I? I'm sorry. Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about that too. Yeah. We're talking about that animation and whatnot.
My bad. I mixed those two up.
Luckily for Jujutsu Kaisen, similar to Chainsaw Man, I don't think it'll suffer some of the toxicity that will like leak.
It'll be like mid-tier popularity, but not like super
I don't think
tier.
any of those the people that like latched on at Kimetsu no Yaiba, they're super like, this is the only anime that matters now. I don't think a lot of them weirdos will get onto Chainsaw Man.
That's why I call it Demon Slayer. Kino no Yaiba is like just generic Japanese title to me. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
Demon Slayer just sounds so generic to me, though. I can't.
Oh, it does, but like the show's generic, so it's okay.
The rough translation, where it's like, what is it? Sword of Demon Destruction. I'm like, all right, that sounds a little bit more fancy. Let's just go with that. Fuck it. But unfortunately, a little. That one does, but like in an ironic way.
I don't. It just sounds weird. Just like looking at it. That's all.
There are way worse titled anime out there.
Oh yeah.
All the like hipster title ones, but will bother me until the end of time. I hate them. Like the time I got reincarnated as a diet soda in a all non-diet soda drinking world, and I was like, please, I get it. You're trying to be quirky with the name, but just call it something else.
Yeah.
I couldn't watch the reincarnated as a slime. Like, anything with a title like that will just annoy me to no end.
Well, I mean, that's just generic Isekai 99.
If you're gonna want to watch an Isekai, watch Konosuba.
There is an Isekai coming up getting an anime. I'm super. I'm stoked for it. But I was gonna say because unfortunately for Kimetsu no Yaiba and unfortunately for old kid Otaku here, My Hero Academia has a lot of those unfortunate fans that make their fandom look horrible.
Yeah,
I don't think
I know.
Chainsaw Man, I don't think will.
I try to not let that ruin the product for me though.
Oh yeah. They have a lot of shippers in the My Hero Academia fandom.
Yeah.
Shippers won't survive in Chainsaw Man.
And those are the same people that'll call the author a pedophile if they draw a character in a swimsuit.
It's so retarded. I can only imagine just shippers and then they get attached to Himeno and then
that's what I'm waiting for. When the whole Denji and Reze thing.
Ultimate ship. Oh God.
It'll be.
And then she's how dare she do this to him? Why is she biting his tongue?
The only
make up these stupid articles. Squirrel eats tongue for breakfast.
The only sad one I could see attracting these people is Aki and the Angel Devil are going to be gay together. It's just stop, please.
I mean, they're gonna fanboy over Aki calling him hot. I already know the girls are gonna do. Same thing that people are gonna do with Gojo too.
Oh, old Goat Joe. He's gonna hoard in fangirls. It's gonna be interesting.
It's like Shoto still does, and I like a lot of other characters besides Shoto. Just because he looks hot, girls like him in My Hero.
I don't even care about he's weird because I don't think I've ever really cared about his character, to be perfectly honest. And then we were talking about earlier, I don't know how Ida got top 10 in the popularity poll. Dude hasn't done anything.
I don't know.
Yuta got number 7 in the first Jujutsu Kaisen poll, and the dude's only in 4 chapters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Some characters stick. Somehow luck has made top 10 every Black Clover poll.
We need to have a chainsaw. I don't think we haven't had a Chainsaw Man poll yet. We should get one.
We should soon. It just hit a year. Maybe it'll I think it's sometime over the first year because I know Jujutsu Kaisen had its first in chapter 60s, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's when they had their first poll.
Yeah. So I'm curious who number 1 would be.
Should be Denji. I imagine it'll be Denji.
Yeah. I mean, I would think so. It's usually the main character.
It's gonna be hard. I have to character.
I know Bakugo's been the main one for 4 polls for My Hero.
I don't think he's ever lost one of them.
Yeah. Deku's been bouncing back and forth to 2 and 3.
She'll take 1. Lost manages to take first like a champ. It's good times though. All mourn if Denji does it. It has to be Denji or Aki. I can see Aki kind of taking it, but I think it'll be Denji. He's too goated.
I could see Power being 2.
Sorry about that, guys. I actually got a call from my work boss, so I had to make sure I actually had to answer it. So I really quickly muted my mic on OBS and my mic on this. We're good. I just I get to come in later tomorrow, not 5 a.m. but 8 a.m. So that's good. But what were we talking about? Fill me in.
We're talking about
we were talking about popularity polls because we were talking about popularity polls My Hero and Kaizen and Black Clover and all that. I brought up the whole thing where Chainsaw Man should be getting one soon.
Ooh, yeah, I'd be curious to see. Do you think it's going to fall into the thing that it always falls into, where the main character is always the most popular for some reason?
Not all. We were just saying poor Deku has not been.
Oh right, Bakugo is always the most popular, isn't he?
Bakugo is taken first every poll.
Why? Okay, what do you guys think about Bakugo? Well, this is now turned. Okay, this video is getting a part 1 and a part 2, at least on my channel. It's gonna be our channel. It's gonna be Chainsaw Man and then just random bullshit.
Have you checked out the one shot for My Hero or Barrage or any of Horikoshi's previous
I
series?
love Barrage, okay? Real quick, Barrage hipster moment here. May I give me 30 seconds?
The one shot for Barrage. Do you read the one shot?
I don't know about the one shot. Wasn't Barrage a 16 chapter series or something?
Yeah, so the one shot, the main character is pretty much Bakugo. Bakugo is pretty much who we wanted the main character.
Oh, interesting. So
it's kind of like with One Piece. Zoro is pretty much who Oda wanted to be the main character.
Interesting. Well, anyway, with Barrage though, I just want to like fanboy teensy bit about Barrage. Have you read all of Barrage, Rex?
Yeah, I wish Barrage was the one. I don't like My Hero, but I love the concept of Barrage.
Yes, I was gonna say Barrage's concept drew me in so much. And I remember reading that weekly. Like, I still have like the tab that I never deleted on like the upper right of my laptop, where it's like, you know, Barrage once every this day, and it was like some janky manga site that I'd go to. That was back in the day before like it was like Manga Panda days, I think.
Yeah, the days of Manga Panda.
But yeah, if you haven't read Barrage, and I'm not talking to the audience now because this is still a video. The concept is essentially, and spoilers if you want to go read it yourself, do that. So spoilers, but like. It's this like, and I might get some of the details wrong. It's been a while, but it's like a prince who like doesn't want to be a prince anymore, and he's like, you know, he happens to look exactly like this kid, and he's like, hey, you want to be prince? Cool. And then he puts all of his clothes on him and shit, and he starts to run away, and immediately gets fucking shot and killed by his guards. It's like, oh, Prince, are you alright? And I was like, Jesus. So now this kid that's just like a homeless, like slumming it kid is now the prince, and it was like such a good premise.
Yeah.
Astro, dude, it was so awesome. I love the art. The weapon was cool. Like he had this giant, like he had this like crazy looking cosmic spear that could also turn into a sword, and it was gonna like shapeshift between all these weapons. And there was like this intergalactic trade war, and all the powers were all like from dark matter.
Yeah,
it was so cool. Like the one shot. I mean, the one shot he was pretty much Bakugo, and he had a black hole for an arm. It was really crazy. He rode like a space whale.
Whoa.
I do like My Hero. I really wish Barrage was.
I like
Black Clover more for Tabata, but like the power style, I don't like for Hungry Joker was crazy.
You would like. I don't know if you've read that. How much of our channel have you seen, Rax? Do you know Thurman, the other guy on our channel?
Oh, I've looked at some of it.
So Thurman, you should talk to Thurman at some point.
Right, I look at some channel.
He's a big Black Clover fan. He loves Black Clover. He's like the Black Clover stan of our channel.
He needs to go
and
away.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Sorry.
Oh, not nice.
What did David say? Was he mean? What did you say?
What's that guy?
What did you say, David?
Nice I said he needs to go away because he likes Black Clover.
Oh, David's just being edgy. He's the edgy boy of the channel.
Won't happen. Dude, Black Clover.
I just cannot get into Black Clover.
I've literally tried. I read like 60-something chapters of it.
No, here's
it does get progressively better.
60. I thought you were gonna say like 10. Dude, Tabata is like so on the ball with foreshadowing.
No, I tried. Like, I really tried. I Rabbit. You know what Rabbit is? It's like Skype, but you can like share screens.
Yeah.
So like I fucking read it with Thurman because Thurman lives in Vegas. I read it alongside Thurman for 60-something. I was rating like the underwater temple arc or whatever.
Dude, that arc is so good. How did you drop there?
It's just I don't like any of the characters. They're all so hateable.
Man, no way. I love them.
I wish, and I'm not dissing, by the way. I'm not going to be like some of those fucks that are like, if you love it, that's awesome. I'm really happy that you do.
The new bad guy's got fucking bone magic. The
you know what I do like?
Skeletal Doc Ock.
I like awesome. Luck. I did like Luck a lot.
Luck
I'm a big fan of like electric children.
You just like electric characters in general, don't you, Red?
Well, Killua was my favorite character of anything ever. Killua from Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, he's my favorite character.
One day the Hunter fans will receive another chapter. One day.
Oh, Hunter x Hunter. One day he'll come back, or Togashi will just die, and I'll be sad.
Oh no! They just announced a new Dragon Quest anime. You're fucked for 2020.
Togashi will be too busy watching that.
No chance. As long as Dragon Quest is putting out new stuff, you're never getting any more. Never getting more Hunter x Hunter.
I want to make a movie.
Might as well just read Jujutsu Kaisen.
I want to make a heist movie where the plot is like a bunch of Hunter x Hunter fans get together to like assassinate everyone involved in making Dragon Quest.
Oh, you're gonna have to kill Toriyama.
No.
That's okay.
Yeah, I mean DBZ. Dragon Ball's fucking run its course.
We don't talk about Super.
I'd rather GT would have been canon than Super sometimes.
All right.
They should have just reanimated GT, given like high saying 4 instead of all these dumb recolors. And like, oh look, cool, another
I love
tournament
Super
art.
Saiyan 4. They actually like put effort into a different, unique design.
Super Saiyan 4, because like the forms, it looks like they're going somewhere. Like he's got the first one, then he has the lightning, it's more defined, and then he's got like the bigger brow and the longer hair.
Yeah, I never really paid attention to it.
He's like a deity. He's like an actual, like he's closer to Sun Wukong. He looks like a Saiyan god, and then it's like the Saiyan god. He's like, oh look, I'm Kaioken, but I'm kind of shiny.
Yeah, that was so low effort.
And then the naming is so annoying.
Super Saiyan
like
God, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan.
So what annoys me is that Super Saiyan God, while in Super Saiyan form, which means it's not Super Saiyan because that's two different powers. It should have just been Saiyan God, and the blue one should have been Super Saiyan God. And I hate whoever was on board for these decisions.
See, now this is the conversation I want to have. This is some good shit.
Everything about Super just. I don't think anything about Super outside of like, oh, cool. Like Moro's kind of cool. I like the new Broly, and then the soundtrack is good. But like, they're so lazy.
Ultra Instinct.
And it's the only thing I like about Ultra Instinct, it's like, oh, it's not a power level technique. It's like it's just like a skill technique. Other than that, I'm just like,
something different.
There's so little effort. Like Jiren is like such a boring character. He's just like, I'm powerful.
I mean, that's always been DBZ's thing. It's very much just like power level flexing.
Frieza, poor dude Frieza came back to just be like, anytime a new bad guy, it's like, how powerful is he? It's like, how long can he beat up on Frieza? It's like, oh,
Frieza.
Poor guy used to be a badass. He used to be this like little midget alien lizard badass, and now he's just like a big punching bag. The only guy left right now out of coming back to be some big joke is Cell, and luckily Cell is just
let's
like
keep
off by
Cell. Cell is special. Let's
keep him
away.
Yeah, it's just wishing where he is now.
I'm just wishing GT gets made canon. Like GT has so many good like plot, like layout. Like the Black Star and Dragon Balls are fantastic.
All right, let's get to know each other better. I want to go down the list. I want to hear everyone's top 3 favorite anime/manga of all time. I'm very curious. David, go.
We're starting with me?
Yeah, I'm going in order of like who's on Discord. At least you're on top 3.
Okay. I gotta say, number 1, Code Geass, forever, always. Fully Cooley. I love it. It's just wacky. Shut your brain off. Beautiful. And
is the new one good? I haven't watched any of the
new one. Progressive was good. Alternative was meh. And just watch and judge for yourself. Progressive was just more of a shut your brain off, wacky bullshit. I love the headphone like shit. It looked like some Brookstone cat ear headphones.
I keep forgetting to look at the new one.
But alternative, I just couldn't like that one.
I feel like the way you're describing it, it's going to be like me watching Eureka 7 and then watching AO, and it's just like, what do they do? What happened? I don't know.
Kind of.
Fucking AO, trash dumpster fire, like one of the best anime I've ever seen.
And what's your number 3, David?
I gotta say, and this is just me loving wacky shit, but panty and stocking with garter belt. Top tier shit post.
I remember that. I don't think I've
top tier shit post anime.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Kid Otaku. What's your top 3 anime? Oh yeah, I'm going to watch it soon for sure. Kid Otaku, I'm curious. Top 3.
For me currently, is like probably Attack on Titan, Hunter x Hunter,
Culture,
and I like Goodnight Pun Pun. It's I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's a seinen series. It's not like battle oriented or anything. It's more like it's one of those series like you follow a kid from when he was a kid all the way till he grows up, and he goes through like different experiences in his life. Like he goes through depression, happiness, madness. All stuff that goes on in his personal life, his relationship, how it changes him as a person, and then his like the thing about him is like he doesn't look like a person; he looks like a bird.
Looks like a bird.
Like, but it's like as he evolves, but as his character evolves throughout the story, like the way his appearance changes, that's supposed to be like symbolism, like to represent like what he's going through at the time, if that makes any sense.
Oh, you know what? Actually, well, I have you here. I'm curious. I see you tweeting a lot about B-Stars. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
So that's something I tried reading the first chapter way before I had an anime. And that's one where I really can't get past like the character design and art style, because it's just like I feel very weird. I'm like, I feel like I'm reading some furry stuff, but like everyone's talking about how good it is, so like sell me on it.
So like pretty much the reason why I like Beastars is mainly because of the whole like relationship between the carnivores and herbivores, because like they pretty much, you have like carnivores and herbivores go to school, and they're not supposed, like the carnivores aren't supposed, they're kind of like, I guess like the best way to explain it is like there's racism and segregation. I know I didn't say that right. I apologize. But that's like the sort of themes that are like in this world. So we have like racism between the carnivores and the herbivores, because herbivores are supposed to act this way, they're not supposed to act that way. Carnivores are supposed to act this way, they're not supposed to act that way. That's why you have like the main character Legoshi, he's a wolf, and you have the main female character Haru, which is a rabbit. And you're not supposed to see species like that interacting because it's not in the culture. If you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Is it anything like it's sounding like a darker version of what was the fucking Disney movie that kind of had something like this?
Zootopia.
Yeah.
Zootopia.
I don't know if that's blasphemous what I'm saying.
It gets compared to that a lot. It's pretty much like a darker version of like
interesting
Zootopia.
Okay, cool. Rax, what's your top 3 favorite anime / manga?
I gotta put 4 because one of them super tight. So
that's fine.
will forever.
I'm gonna have fucking honorable mentions.
Regardless of opinion, I will forever ride the fairy tale train until
that's number
death.
1.
Oh, dude, I love fairy tale so much.
Really, number 1 though. That's interesting.
So that's a lot to be another time. There's so many things that get overlooked. Like a lot of like the friendship stuff that people say, it's so overlooked. There's so many parts that can easily be explained if you just like pay attention to like parts that are like laid out in the series.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not the guy guy that's gonna fucking shit on you for liking Fairy Tail. There was elements of Fairy Tail I liked for sure.
I can go on for hours of like the similarities between like Natsu and Seraph, and like the contrasting points between like how they live their lives.
You and Shigaraki.
Do you watch Nux Taku at all, Rex?
No.
You should. He just did a video that you might be. He's also a big like Fairy Tail defender in the community, and he did like an hour-long video about like basically what you're talking about why Fairy Tail does not deserve as much hate, and how it's like a lot better than people think.
Well, no, so a lot of it stemmed from chapter 22 when Sting surrendered and what was it, King of Lightning got super on it. He didn't understand his character at all, and that still drives me insane.
King of Lightning is like slightly cancerous. Like he's a bit toxic sometimes. I love him, but like yeah.
If you paid attention to the dude's character, he was all about like wanting to win and be flashy and have that big heroic day, because he had this huge promise towards his first ever fan, because he grew up as a little fanboy. He got his first fan, made a promise to him that he would prove himself in front of all these people and have some big flashy win. And he didn't want to win by beating up 5 people that could barely stand, because it would pretty much destroy everything that his character was built around if he did it. And then it was just like, oh, he surrendered because he's a pussy. And I'm just so annoyed the entire time.
Yeah, trust me. I want to do a video where like jokingly but not jokingly like roast a lot of the anime tube. And one of the people King of Lightning, I do love his videos, but he's like, he focuses way too much on like the power scaling aspect. That's all he cares about.
See, like that's like I tend to read a lot of battle shonen, but the main reason why I like him so much is mainly because of the whole adventure aspect, where you follow the characters throughout their story. They make new friends. They go through like personal things throughout the story. They come across all these different kinds of obstacles. That's mainly why I like them. Like I always focus more on like the story and characters. Sure, like flashy stuff is nice to see every once in a while, but that's not like the world to me. Like in order for me to really care about a fight is if there's meaning behind it. Like Deku versus Muscular, for example, there was meaning behind that, because that was Deku putting his life on the line to save a little boy who never really cared about heroes, because his parents ended up getting killed by Muscular, and there was nobody there to save his parent at the time. So he looked at heroes as these bad people. They're like, oh, you're a hero. Why should I care about you? You never really did. It seems like people just throw the name hero around, and it doesn't really have like any value to it. So like when Deku like put his life on the line to show him like like how he was willing to put his life on the line to save him, and like opened his eyes where it's like, okay, this kid that I never met in my life is putting his life on the line for me. Like, why is he doing? Like, there needs to be meaning behind something.
I
like
agree, and I'm glad you bring that up
fight
because
where people are punching or kicking, I don't care.
Well, yeah, because like here's the thing: if you don't love a character and you don't like feel for their strife and like what they're doing, they're just a fucking bunch of lines. You know what I mean? Like what a fictional story needs to do is make you feel for this world and this character so much that like you forget that you're watching a bunch of moving pictures and like, you get sucked into the world.
The whole goal of escapism. If you're failing at that, then you're failing as a story writer.
So like I think people can get a little too caught up in the power scaling aspect of it when really like what is amazing about any fight is like you said, the caring, why the fight is happening. That's one of the reasons I love One Piece so much. I think Oda has this down to a science. He makes you fucking despise the villain. The whole arc is like, here's this villain and why he's so trash and why he's awful. Yeah. And when Luffy punches him in the fucking face, it's gonna feel good, I love that shit.
Oh man, I never hated Crocodile even for a second.
Yeah, I mean he did.
I'm not a huge fan of a lot of Oda's villains, but I do love Crocodile.
I feel like Crocodile. I mean, let's not forget Crocodile. Like, he like made it so I think he was pretty responsible for like the drought on Alabasta, if I remember correctly. Like, did he like
Crocodile was like afterwards, like he was keeping everything up. I mean, he was focusing on expansion. He was pretty smart, like expanding his empire.
Yeah, he's like a Bond villain.
Yeah, dude is awesome. I mean, like. I know Doflamingo is super popular, but it's like I look at like, a lot of
overrated. He's all right. He's good, but like people like
I'm not a huge fan. Crazy. The thing actually that bothers me, I think, more than anything about Oda is he keeps having all this really cool stuff in all the movies and not canon. Like film Z being not canon, I'll never be able to get over.
I feel you.
Like
I
film Z was
definitely
great.
feel you on that. I need to watch Film Z again. It's been too long.
He had a really good story. He had a really good design. He didn't need a devil fruit. He had lore, impact, and importance, and his out was awesome. Like the whole scene, the music, it was just badass.
The chapters right now are fucking awesome. I don't know if you guys are caught up. Oh my god.
I like the backstory. I don't like Odin.
That's fair. I mean, see,
Odin feels like a fan fiction character.
I really
everybody really likes him. Like seeing Whitebeard and Roger though is like pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like seeing old Whitebeard.
True.
The whole notes between like a little hints of Blackbeard and the whole fact he doesn't sleep.
That shit is intriguing to me. I'm so interested.
There's a lot of interesting stuff going on. I really wish this was just a flashback about Roger or Whitebeard.
I think we're gonna.
I don't care about Odin.
We're probably gonna get more of that later. Like I think we're gonna get a Roger-centric flashback at one point as well, where we get even more of Roger's stuff.
And so I'm pretty salty that he off-paneled that fight between Whitebeard and Roger, but he's off-paneled like every big fight since the time skip.
It's pretty annoying. Like, and I'm hoping though that like the big test for me, because I feel you. We did a whole video on our channel about like Oda, stop fucking off-screening shit. The big
I got an argument with somebody on Twitter, and they're like, "Why would he show that like this at this point in the story? It's an Odin flashback." I'm like, do you think there's even one Piece fan that would complain like, I gotta read a fight between Prime Whitebeard and Prime Roger? It's like absolutely nobody in the fandom. Like I wouldn't consider myself a One Piece fan. I'm a casual reader, but at the same time, I would want to see that fight because it's like the big pinnacle pirate. You got Roger, the guy who started.
Two strongest of the verse, practically. Yeah.
And Whitebeard, like big old goat man, but finally in his prime. Yeah. Finally seeing like him without like being sick, and it's like sweet clash. They're probably never going to get to see that
is
fight
going to be what happens in this like war, because like obviously we're about to have like the raid on Onigashima, right? And like usually Oda, the way Oda structures his arcs are like he has the beginning, which is more plot focused. Like you can look at Water 7 and Enies Lobby is a perfect representation of this. Like you have the plot focus, and then like Enies Lobby was like all fight. It was just like fight after fight after fight. All of them were shown. Yeah. So I'm gonna hold off and see what he does when we get back to Onigashima and Wano, and if he's off-paneling fights there, then I'm gonna fucking go off on him. Like
I'm salty as fuck. When he off-paneled Sanji in
yes!
Page 1. I got mad because Sanji used to be my favorite.
Sanji is my favorite character.
Ever since the time skip, like he's pretty much New Age Yamcha, and he just gets beaten up. He doesn't get that good of a deal. Like Frankie and Brooke have gotten treated better. Sure. And it's like, oh, cool. He's finally going to get someone. He's got like a Kamen Rider suit, and he's fighting Page 1, who I was salty as hell. I was like, because what's his name, X Drake. I was like, man, I can't wait to see his hybrid form, and then his hybrid form looks goofy as. We got Page One's hybrid, and the dude looks like Killer Croc, and I'm like, this is gonna be awesome. He's fighting Sanji, and then it's off panel. I was like, what did you do to this guy?
Well, that's one of the things too. Like, I'm gonna go whenever that shit hits in the anime. I'm going there because like I have a feeling the anime is gonna pick up the slack on that one, and I'm hoping they do it well.
Can you imagine? I'm gonna have just a little sad moment if they don't even bother doing that animation in the anime. I'm just like, what are you doing?
They better not. Yeah, no, but like I said, to me, it's all gonna be about how much of the fights they show when they get back to Wano, because now it's the second part of the arc. This should be the fight part. He's set all the plot. It's fight time.
The only part of this whole arc that I want to come true is I'm waiting for fourth gear Tiger Man.
Woo!
I need it to happen. Oda's a super huge boner for Japanese like culture lore and stuff.
He does.
He's been wanting to do Wano forever. And like how many symbolic pictures are like, you know, that Eastern dragon fighting a tiger.
About, yeah.
And also, I don't know if you've ever talked to Pro Zypher. I got into a huge argument with him one point over this because he's like, oh, it's foreshadowing with Ori and stuff. I don't get along with him. I just really want to be like, I predicted something big in One Piece and you didn't.
All right, it's on film now. I got it right here.
Killer Fourth Tiger Man. For one, it's cool, but at the same time, if I'm right, then I get to be like, dude, I'm a super One Piece casual. You're like a One Piece fanboy. If I can have
I get the same way with him with My Hero. I love My Hero. Like, that's why I'm so excited to see like what Horikoshi's doing right now, because it seems like this year is more build up for the villains. Now it seems like next year is going to be more build up for the heroes, and then we're going to enter the war after.
My Hero is feeling incredibly endgamey, and I have a hard time believing it's going to end, but like this soon. But like it really feels endgamey.
I personally look at this being like this upcoming war is kind of like it's like Marine.
Yeah,
it's like a Marine
hopefully.
Ford,
I think he's going to end it
like,
being called My Hero, and he's going to have a different name because it can't be My Hero Academia forever.
My Hero, yeah. Oh yeah, like
because I sort of feel like this being like one of the points where it's like, okay, like this. Because the way I see this war ended up being is like the villains are going to win, and that's what Shigaraki's going to rise in power. He's going to destroy everything just like he wants to, and he's going to take control of Japan. And that's when the heroes need to figure out, okay, what are we going to do next? And that's where they might.
So here's the thing that confuses me though: isn't Shigaraki's goal literally just to destroy everything? So why would he take power? Why would he like sit on top of like a corporation or whatever, like fucking All for One did, or just like have like minions and shit? Wouldn't he just want to just go around destroying as much as possible?
He's building it up for the war. He's building everything up.
Well, yeah, no, right now, yeah, but I'm saying like when he attacks,
looking at like where he came from and like in his past, because like when we got into like his backstory, we were learning a little bit more about him, and that's why
it's fucking amazing, by the way.
And that's why with like how Rax is with like Natsu and Zeref, I love the parallels between Deku and Shigaraki, because we both see them start from zero, and we both see them like grow throughout the story. So we're not only seeing the protagonist grow throughout the story, we're seeing the villain grow throughout the story as well. And we see that him and Deku weren't far off. Like they both wanted to become heroes when they were younger, but because of this issue that his father had, where Nana Shimura left him at a young age. Because when you're like young and you're like 3 or 4 years old, you're not gonna know like, okay, I'm putting my life on the line to save millions of people from this guy that's looking to kill not only me but my family as well.
Right.
Because it's in a hero's code to put your life on the line in order to, save other people, and that's what Nana was trying to do. And he felt like he was being neglected. And then as he was growing up, he just didn't really like heroes. He just didn't really get like, okay, why do all these people do all these things? And that's when he found out his son wanted to become a hero. He was like, no, I don't want any of this in my household. So it's like, past experiences affected him as a person growing up. And then he started taking out his anger and frustration on his son. And then that's where like Shigaraki felt like he didn't really have anybody to go to besides his sister. And then we had that whole thing happen where they got into an argument. He ended up going outside because that was Shigaraki's punishment. And he ended up holding his dog. And then that's when his quirk activated. He killed his dog. He ended up killing his sister, his mom, his grandma, his grandpa. And then he pretty much just put the nail in the coffin where he killed his father. And he just started to embrace everything. and then he was
I love that
wandering on this
backstory.
Yeah,
and something I do want to give props to on My Hero. One of my favorite elements of My Hero Academia is the focus on how like quirks really just play into society and like change people psychologically.
Yeah.
Because if you look at a lot of the backstories, a lot of them have to do with how their quirk shaped them. So obviously Deku, his lack of quirk shaped him and who he is. Shigaraki, what his quirk was, you know, because if his quirk was something like, oh, I have stretchy skin, it would not have, you know, it wouldn't have been like the nightmare that we got for Shigaraki. So, and then you think like Toga, right? Like she developed this fixation about becoming people and drinking their blood because of her quirk. So like it really shows how like this quirk thing, which is just kind of like through genetics, humans really don't know how to deal with it because like it's a whole new element of their personality, and some people become obsessed with it and like they let their quirk shape them rather than them shaping their quirk.
No, you mentioned it, so I'm even more curious. Like you said, you read Black Clover. How did you not like Raditz after like that kind of discussion? Because he was like a good guy, and you know he ended up kind of getting constantly discriminated because his magic was necromancy, and they just saw him becoming a villain until he pretty much got expelled out for being too much of a liability, and then he ended up becoming a villain, becoming a psychopath with this whole.
In the first 60 chapters, remind me.
Yeah, he was in the whole invasion of the capital. He had all the zombies because he talks to all his zombies like people. It's the only people he's really got.
All I can say is like a lot of the story is like presentation, how it unfolds, yada yada. I think there was a couple main distracting features for me that made me not able to get into Black Clover. A big one was that I felt like a lot of the way the characters were written, they just really weren't likable to me. They like Asta I almost can't stand, and when a main character is that annoying to me, it's very hard to get through things. I really liked Yami, and I really liked Luck a lot.
Everyone super likes Yami. I don't know, man. I love Asta. He's such a happy kid. He's a dummy, but.
Sorry,
such a good dude.
Yeah, the main thing I'll say is I wasn't a big fan of the power system and the way they fought. And I know that people that like it really like it, but like I don't know. I'm not a big fan of like it just seemed like a lot of the fights were like summoning random bullshit and throwing at each other. And like I don't know, I prefer more like close encounters, strategy based.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A lot of it is very like strategic.
Cast swords of revealing lights.
Okay, hang on. I was gonna say, just as we eventually got there, number 2 pick is definitely Yu-Gi-Oh, and I fucking love Yu-Gi-Oh. Dude, Yu-Gi-Oh especially is so weird because so many people only know it from the dub, and they don't know how fucked up Yu-Gi-Oh actually is.
They send motherfuckers to hell, okay?
I mean, Yugi kills even just season 0. Yugi kills multiple people. Kaiba like straight ditched people on the ocean and then laughed at him and said that they should pray to at least be eaten by gourmet fish. Dude's a savage. He's still my favorite rival in Shonen by leads.
By the way, one more thing I can say, Rax, is when it comes to power systems, I've never been a big fan of just magic in anything. Because I think that magic, it always has a tendency to just not be explained in the way I like. Like, I like power systems that feel like a science. So, like, my favorite power system of all time is Nen. Because, like, Nen is so well explained, it feels tangible. It feels like it could really exist. I know every facet of how it works and, like, everything. I could write an essay on how Nen works. Whereas magic in Black Clover,
write a whole goddamn video.
A lot of Black Clovers is just, like, general, like, normal, like, elemental stuff.
Yeah, and that just kind of bores me, I'll be honest.
Like, I like the straightforward, because then you get like stuff like, oh well, this guy's really OP, he's just light, and it's like, well, you have someone like Nozel, or it's like, oh, he's just Mercury, so he can make reflective material. It's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. How you
I think that
counter this guy and do these things.
Yeah, you'll probably like Kaizen because Akutami that's how you pronounce the name, right, Rex?
Yeah. Akutami is like a big Togashi and Kubo fan.
Yeah, I heard that Thurman keeps describing it as like a mix of Bleach and Hunter x Hunter, and I do like both of those series. So I'm interested for sure, and I'm only on chapter 2. I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, especially when you get like more insight on like Gojo's cursed power, like that's why, like, when I was doing my review on the latest chapter, it was giving me like Tagashi vibes because of how in depth Akutami goes with like his ability itself, like how he can use it in like multiple ways.
Like, can I just gush
299
about Togashi
seconds.
real quick? Like, Togashi's writing style, like, I've never before felt like an author was, like, perfectly speaking to the way my brain operates. Because I actually have, like, clinical OCD. I have to, like, take medication for it. And I overthink things, like, just to an extreme. And, like, I love the way he writes the powers because before I even have the question, he answers the question. So, like, are you caught up with the manga completely, both of you?
I'm
a bit behind. I'm
You
not
are
a huge
Kid Otaku?
Hunter. I'm not a huge Hunter guy.
Okay, so do you remember the chapter where I don't remember her name, but like there's the two girls that are twins that are both princesses, whatever, and one of them has like a tunnel ability where she can like, and it's based off of their like childhood thing where they can like climb through the tunnel. Remember that?
Which arc was that?
This is the current arc.
I guess in the whole boat one.
Yeah.
Oh! You talk about they saw that person inside the bedroom.
Yeah. Well, remember, she can like climb through like the tunnel and like climb and then it'll like teleport or somewhere else.
Yeah, I know what you're referring to.
So there's a chapter where like in one page, she's sitting there and she's like thinking about how to use this power, like, and she goes through every single possible like, okay, well, if I do, what will happen if I climb through and if I think of a destination while I open it. But then I change the destination while I'm in the middle of the tunnel. Will that work? What if I open the tunnel and then open the exit of the tunnel right next to the tunnel? What if I open the tunnel and then close the tunnel while I'm in it? Do I have an alternate space to hide in? It's just so many details. I love it. Whereas Black Clover, I get the appeal of it. But for me, it did just seem like, oh, what element does this guy control? Oh, well, I'll throw water at you. I'll throw fire at you. I'll bring up mirrors. And it just seemed like a bunch of like someone going to a Wikipedia and like random page. Okay, this guy controls cactuses. Go. That's what it felt like to me.
She got to my boy Zora, just Magic Batman.
Magic Batman?
Yeah, he's pretty much just a strategist. He's all about he's 100% about like laying traps and then baiting people.
Is that the guy that like? I'm trying to. I need to find this. Does he look really fucking weird?
He got like shark teeth and he's got like red hair.
I think I know who you're talking about. Thurman sent pictures of him before.
He's my favorite guy. He's pretty much Magic Batman.
He looks pretty cool. I like his design.
Just a huge asshole.
But yeah, you can, like another series I love to death is, and then you'll get the vibe of what I like is Full Metal Alchemist. It's one of my favorites, and like that power system, it just feels so like tangible and real. I love it.
Science.
Yeah,
magic.
That's why I said you'll probably like Kaizen because of like how Nakatomi handles the power system in that series. Because like I had to read that chapter at least 2 to 3 times to get the full grasp of what was going on.
Oh yeah. Some of the times Nakatomi's like the whole like explanation how like reverse technique works. And you're just like, okay, magnets. Yeah, I think I gotta get it.
All right. Well, this has been a great conversation, guys. Do you guys have any final thoughts as we start to wrap up? For David's sake, since he probably has to get up at like 5 a.m.
I have to be at work at 5 a.m.
Top 3, it's still Fairy Tail, Yu-Gi-Oh, and then probably a tie between Berserk and Code Geass. I do love these
Code Geass boys.
Dude, I just finished doing another rewatch. I'm so excited for R3. Stoked.
I've got the movie pre-ordered.
I'm watching. I love the subs, but I love the Code Geass dub.
The Code Geass dub's phenomenal. There are only a handful of dubs that I think are better.
Dubs that I can tolerate.
Yeah, Johnny Young Bosch is Lelouch, I think, is
my absolute boy. Okay, so my top 3, I'm a bit of a shonen trash, so like it's a teens basic, so I'm gonna have some honorable mentions to de-basic myself. My top 3 for about like 3 years, and it hasn't changed because nothing's dethroned it for me yet, is number 1 Hunter x Hunter, number 2 One Piece, and number 3 Full Metal Alchemist. But honorable mentions, I absolutely adore Assassination Classroom. I love Mob Psycho.
Mob
let's
Psycho.
See here.
I forgot to
else?
mention
I gotta look
that.
at my shelves here. Oh, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is easily top 5.
Get past part 3 one day.
Let's see here.
There we go.
I'm looking around. What else I got? Yeah, I mean, I'll stick with that for now. I have a bunch of other like series, but those are the ones that really stand out to me. How do you guys feel about Assassination Classroom? Because that's what I watched recently that shot up so fucking fast. I loved it.
Oh, I haven't checked it out yet. I do plan on.
Oh, neither of you have?
I have. My favorite thing is just my favorite thing will always be the weird volume covers.
They're great. Yeah.
Like Dimension W, where it's like, oh, cool, we're gonna do. What are we gonna do weird this time? Dimension W's are all fucking glow in the dark.
They're pretty great. I definitely recommend it, Kid Otaku. It like starts off it's as like a kind of a comedy slice of life, but then it just gets more and more serious until it makes you cry.
Dude, done anything?
I did warn you early on that you'd be crying your goddamn eyes out, didn't I?
It's true. But as for like One Piece, like Hunter x Hunter, I've talked about why I love so much. It literally just everything about the power system, the characters, Killua and Gon's friendship is like everything to me. One Piece, I just love One Piece has the best world building of all time. I don't care what anyone says. Like
have you read Toriko, my friend?
Okay, I guess I got to go back and try Toriko again.
Toriko's world building is top tier.
I made the mistake of trying the Toriko anime.
Why did you do that?
Well,
because I didn't know.
Yeah, I know when I read it, I'm probably gonna read them
randomly. Let's like just hey, let's give him a.
He has not done anything
power
since
where he turns into like a red Super Saiyan ogre man.
But I do love One Piece. Really, I don't remember which one of you earlier was talking about like loving the adventure of shonen manga.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah, that's what One Piece is to me. Like One Piece is just so fun. Like going to the different islands and seeing like the way those islands work and their customs and like the crazy creatures and the beautiful landscapes. It's just so fun to watch this like family of characters that I love just travel from place to place, and the powers are wacky. Like besides JoJo, they're up there in like wackiness. Like only JoJo can surpass the wacky powers of like One Piece. So yeah, and then Full Alchemist is just like that's one of the most perfect stories.
There's a reason Foxy will never come back. He's too OP.
Fucking Foxy.
Foxy would beat any of the Yonks. They just push him in the water.
I wonder Foxy versus fucking Kizaru. Like what would happen there?
Foxy would beat Idia. He'd freeze him and then push him in the water. He wins. There's a reason why Oda's never gonna bring him back. Is because he randomly he's got mostly like elemental and animal powers, and then some weird ones, and then he's just like, well, this guy can shoot beams that will stop you in like all form of like kinetic energy.
Nah, bro, it ain't just elemental, okay? Like, that's what I love about the Paramecia, bro. You got a mother.
Paramecia is like random, and then you have the Zoans with other animals. But then I meant like a lot of the big guys, like a lot of the big ones, got like elements.
For sure,
and stuff.
I respect that. Like, he uses the elements in
most of
unique
the
ways, though. All right, go ahead.
Paramecies are like pretty. A majority of them are pretty low, and then you got like Whitebeard. He's just Whitebeard.
True.
Like Foxy though, like Foxy could legitimately beat almost anybody in the series as long as he just lands that stop. Then he's gonna win.
Well, I'll give you my idea of like a quintessential One Piece fight. Like, do you remember? This is like quite a while back, but like in the Little Garden arc when Mr. 3 shows up and he puts them in like that wax thing.
Oh.
Like that's just so fun. Like I love One Piece fights that are just fun. And I remember like so many good moments where like Zoro's turning into a wax statue and he's like posing and he's like, well, if I'm gonna die, I might as well be a cool, in a cool pose. And then like Nami's like all scared and he's like, Nami, you better get your cool pose on before you die. So fucking good.
Poor guy.
But yeah. Final thoughts, guys. This has been fun. Good talking to you guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Plug your channels one more time.
All right, so
hero.
All right, so pretty much what I do is I do My Hero Academia, Kaizen, Chainsaw Man. Those are series I really want to build up right now. I kind of want to do 4, but I don't want to overwork myself. So,
if Hunter x Hunter comes back, will you review it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Nice.
That's what I'm waiting for because like by the time I caught up to it, like I think it was like
it was on hiatus again.
And you get like 3 reviews out of here.
Hiatus.
You get like 3 reviews of it.
I always enjoy it when it's around though.
Oh,
so I'm glad to have it.
All right, cool. Rax, plug yourself.
Hey, check out my channel. I still do a lot of the weekly things. I really wish there's so many small series that I wish got normal translations or official translations that I could actually review consistently.
Yeah. If you have like a list of recommendations,
Najimaki Kagyu, dude, I will buy that the second the ball.
Recommend me stuff because I need to be less basic. Because like I wish I fully admit I need to be less basic. I read a lot of like the popular stuff.
Shonen.
I can recommend you Act Age.
Say again? What's it called?
That's another shonen. Shonen Jump.
It's Shonen Jump, but it's not battle oriented. It's pretty much showing the growth of like
character. I guess tell them.
No, it's similar to that. It's similar to that Pun Pun story I told you earlier, except it's a little different. It's not as dark as like Pun Pun is. It's just like this girl who like she wants to become an actress, and she pretty much like and the way that you see her like show her acting skills is through like method acting. If you know what like method acting is,
It's Jared Leto.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Jared Leto though.
Yeah, I mean, I
was just thinking of Jared Leto's shitty Joker.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what? Then, if they just took so many damn accessories off him and actually like let him,
like, I'll put it in there. You get like a better idea. I have a hard time explaining things.
All right, and then for anyone watching it on one of their channels, we're Controlled Chaos. I recommend coming over to our channel and just watching our like minute-long channel trailer. That'll give you a vibe of what we do over there. We do group reviews, so it's like 2 people reviewing a series.
Sometimes 3.
Yeah, 3 if we're feeling crazy. But it's My Hero,
we can drag Thurman out of whatever
Man.
gutter he's in.
Shut the fuck up. We do My Hero, Chainsaw Man, Dr. Stone,
Ruby.
Yeah, thank you. Ruby, Rick and Morty we've been trying to talk about, but because I am.
Are you caught up on Ruby?
Say what?
Yep.
Yeah, we talk about Ruby.
Dude, I fucking hate Robin Hill's character. I fucking hate her so much.
Why?
Do anything. She's just like a terrorist. There's this weird thing about Rooster Teeth, the last like 2 volumes, where they keep like hyping up bad guys, like Jacques. Jacques is made out to be like this. Oh, he's some scummy business guy. But like, look what he's doing. Look what Robin Hill's doing. Like, Jacques wants to get in control, undo the dust embargo, and then revitalize his company, which would put people back in work, open up their shops again, help the trade between kingdoms. And then what does Robin Hill do? She's going around attacking military convoys. And it's not like they're military. The Atlas military isn't like, oh, we're scummy guys who go around like beating and robbing people for no reason. They're just on patrol for grim attacks and like people who are rioting. And all they're doing is like attacking these like little robot patrols. So if grim attack, nothing's gonna happen, because out of all the grim attacks, they didn't show up at all. They just go and try and jump military groups. Well, they don't do anything. Her character is such I have a soft spot for anti-establishment politicians, personally. She was like made out like, oh, the Atlas government, they're all corrupt, they're all bad and corrupt, and they're stealing from people and doing all this bad stuff. And it's like she's just Robin Hood. But she just comes off as she's just attacking military groups doing their job, and they're not even bad. They're not even like corrupt, evil military. They're just like, oh yeah, we're here in case something goes down. I can agree with you that could be executed better. My take on Ruby has always been that the story really isn't its strong suit. It's always been its like fights, and I'm a fan of most of its characters as well. Too, but they keep ruining them. Like we talked about. I think volume 4 and 5 were like super weak, but I think they've been steadily increasing the quality against 6. Volume 4 was fine. Volume 5 is probably the worst volume. Yeah, no, it was for sure. No, I even hated Volume 4. But I think 6 and 7 have been good so far, at least the fights. 6, what they did to my boy Adam, I'll never forgive. I'll never forgive him. Adam ran through Blake and Yang at end of Volume 3. He like completely trashed them in a fight. He's more experienced. He's faster. He's stronger. He straight 100 to 0 Yang's aura in one shot. And then after 2 volumes of them sulking and protesting, they can somehow fight him. That was such bullshit. I agree. I hate it. Like they keep ruining their best villains. Torchwick. I do miss Torchwick. Ruined. Torchwick had no visible sign his aura went down, and somehow some random Grim kills him, which was absolutely ridiculous. Adam like gets bitch made in Volume 5, where he somehow runs away from a bunch of no-name characters. Well, not only is it him, but he's got Hazel there to back him up. Cinder's character built up in Volume 4 was great, and then it's like Volume 5 after like 12, 15 episodes of like her wanting to murderously kill Ruby, and then she's in the room with her and she doesn't even pay attention to her. She goes after
Volume 5 was a fucking travesty.
Fumbles to run into walls. I'm so worried what they're gonna do with Watts if they ruin him too, because he's been such a compelling villain. So my final take on Ruby is and always will be. It's like Ruby is to me a turn your brain off and enjoy show, because it is sloppily executed for sure. The side characters are doing really good right now. Like Jean is fantastic. Everything about Jean's character is great. Ren and Nora are pretty interesting. I like that he's, they finally kissed, but he doesn't agree with her stances are. Also, side note, just Nora and their whole group, when they're like, oh, we should tell them about all these things and, quit trying to police them as much. And then Ironwood is like, no, this is why that won't work. Like 30 seconds of thinking, and he just shuts down everything.
So you're on Ironwood's side too, huh?
Dude, Ironwood is like the only experienced one. He's like, oh, he's not doing bad stuff.
You can literally tell someone's
like so mad. I've gotten so mad watching this last couple.
Similar to how I can judge someone's character based off of.
They did all this to spill all this food on Whitley, and they just humiliated this old lady who she wasn't depicted as some bad person. She was just some lady, and they humiliated her and ruined her night. And then they're like, haha, we ruined Whitley. Like he's gonna
to get information. I'm like, fuck them. I don't care.
They're like, we're gonna go put some new. He's gotta have to put some new. I mean, look at this poor lady. And what are they gonna go?
Oh wow, a fucking meeting for rich people that are really rich. She'll be fine.
Yeah, but they didn't even like portray her as like some bad rich like an old racist or like someone who hates the poor. She was just some nice lady. She was just there. Like the last 2 volumes, they've done so like every time they were like this character is bad and this character is good, it makes me feel the opposite because it's the same thing. Like Jacques is an asshole, but everything he's doing is good. Would end up good. Everything he's doing would end up helping people. What is Robin Hill doing? She just causes problems. She has no like sight into like how can I help people? How is everything that I'm doing aiding people? She's not like, oh, I deconstructed these robots and armed the people. No, she's just attacking and robbing them.
That's a fair point.
And then the whole plot point where Tyrion is like somehow not seen at all when what's her name, Fiona or whatever, the Faunus. For one, they already established Faunus can see in the dark, most of them, but she can see in the dark. So the fact that she could not see Tyrion is absolutely moronic. Oof. And the fact that she has a power, like Robin Hill's power is she's a lie detector. So how can she not figure out like, oh, is this what you're saying? This person doing it true? Oh, it's not because I have a lie detector power. God, there's so many horrible writing aspects with Ruby the last 2 volumes. I get so mad.
And I agree with you.
They have all this nice setup. Like Salem's character is super interesting. I think that episode where it showed her backstory is the best episode in the whole series.
100%.
They have all these really interesting villains and all these cool designs, and they just keep fumbling. I get so mad. Like, how are you guys fucking up so easily? You have it all easy.
To finish the video off, though, good rant. It was good, and I agree with most of what you're saying. And like I said, I don't think Rooster Teeth will ever be good at story. That's really not their forte.
I don't get how they can't. Like, you sit down, you plan out a couple of volumes, and then you
should. I agree.
Like it was so much more consistent when Monty was in charge. It makes me sad.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's clearly now, and the last thing I'll say on this, and let's try to move on, just so we can end it for poor David's sake.
One last thing. Okay. If they end up making Blake and Yang a thing for shippers, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind.
But what if
I'm gonna fucking lose it?
What if that was just the plan all along? You
had 2 volumes where Sun earned the respect of Blake's parents. 2 volumes.
That's true.
Of this whole thing, and then her like winning over his trust, and like, he's not just. It's like the whole struggle, but it was like she's like, oh, feelings for Adam, this like horrible guy she knows is bad, but she's lingering feelings for him. Versus this good guy who she knows is a good person, but she's like, I don't want to get.
I hope they have like a genuine like love triangle where they actually like
they had this whole build up, and then like now all of a sudden she's like, what, going to be lesbians with Yang for shippers? I'm just like, why? Why would you destroy this really nice setup you guys spent 2 volumes establishing for shippers? It makes me so frustrated.
Well,
that's the one thing that
a show get me too upset, because at the end of the day, it is still for fun. But I feel what you're saying, and like I said,
get invested. I get so mad.
That's fine. I mean, my take on Ruby is like I've really lowered my expectations with Ruby because it's never been like very well constructed. You know, I go into Ruby for like fun characters and fun fights. You know,
since volume 5, I've pretty much been lowered the bar
same.
This season.
And I think that's like, why volume 3, because my expectations were so fucking low after volume 5. Like 6 and 7 really surprised me.
Volume 3 was great. Volume 4 was like, okay, yeah, there's all this nice setup. They got all this new stuff they're laying out, and then it's like volume 5 was just a fucking train wreck.
But to finish the channel plug, which is what I was originally doing. Sorry about how that little offshoot there.
We disorientated.
Our very normal things we do over there is Chainsaw Man, Dr. Stone, My Hero Academia, One Piece. And am I missing anything, David?
No, not really. It just there's the various videos we do, like Rick and Morty when we can.
We try to do like filler videos in between, like just discussions on anything. I want to bring back Chaos Battle, which is where we just kind of we take two characters and we debate for a good long time who would win.
Sign me up for that. That sounds super fun.
Oh yeah, I'll send you the playlist of the ones we've done. Like we edit up like all the feats and stuff. It's very fun. But yeah, basically what we've branded ourselves as over there is just like we just kind of be ourselves. We don't worry about censoring ourselves or anything. We do crazy, dark humor, but also, just actually dive into the chapter. And like I said, if you really want to know what we're about, check out the channel trailer, and you'll get a vibe if you like it or not. Thank you so much to Kid Otaku and Rax the Hero for doing this collab with us. I've wanted to reach out and do this for a long time, so I appreciate that, guys.
Happy to do it. It's honestly good to talk about like your favorite series of a lot of people, honestly.
I'm revved up for 2020. Got a lot of stuff going on.
Definitely. And I hope that we can do I hope we can do more of these in the future, like if anything super interesting happens in Chainsaw Man, like above and beyond interesting, we could maybe get together and do like our own reverie stream, but for Chainsaw Man.
That'd be cool.
I'm super down. All right, thanks so much, guys.